Hello, hello. I'm walking up to the park now. Right. Hello, hello everybody. How you doing? It is definitely hot today.
So everyone can be involved. These actions are meant to amplify our demands and get things moving. These are our call to action. On Sunday, we met at the KFC Young Center to heal, right? Because healing is very important. We are hurting. Now we are working, all right? So we demanded the right to protest to be respected. There are people still in jail right now for civil protesting. That's not right. Today, we demanded our residents of police and the rest of the black community. We are about to go to Louisville right now. We're going to demand that they no longer increase the police budget. More police is not making us safe. More police is not making us safe. Stop giving money to the police. So we're going to ask city council to do that. Right now, U of L is meeting with student groups, and we are asking U of L and all other public institutions to cut all ties off with LPD and the police. Police do not belong in our schools. Minnesota, they have already successfully achieved this. Now it's time to bring that to Louisville. So please demand U of L, demand public institutions, demand your council people stop increasing police budgets. Send that money to the community. Send that money to our healthcare system. We don't need more police. But I'm going to argue the demands. We demand immediate relief for communities. We demand community control. And we demand an end to the war against black people. So if you are with us, walk with us. March with us. This fight can happen all week, all month until we are free. Because what do we want? Justice. Freedom and justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. Power to you.
All right, for everybody just catching up, we're at the corner of 5th and Jefferson, where there's a, we've seen in previous days past, it's where the protests begin. Very large gathering in the park today for it already being so early. There are tons of bottles of water and like granola bars and gauze and other supplies that people have dropped off. You can see people down here. I mean, there's maybe between 300 to 400 people. They're going over some announcements in the middle of the park, talking about the list of demands from the Louisville Metro Police Department and from our mayor. the speaker before was having meetings with people with U of L administrators to stop using Louisville Metro Police on their campus. The idea that more police is not the answer. There is no police presence that's down here today. I don't see any police here in uniform, and that's including monitoring the crowd or walking around in the crowd, giving hugs like we've seen in days previous. There's maybe 3 or 4 of these stations right here where we can see. I mean, there's water, there's oranges, there's bags of chips. I mean, it's all the supplies that people need to stay down here and stay healthy for the day. There's a medic station around here somewhere that people are welcome to use. So if you're in the area and you want to come down and join, and you're curious if there's going to be supplies for you to stay safe.
These people just hurt. And see, when I watched that video, George Floyd on the floor and seeing this white policeman not caring that he is saying he can't breathe, and he kept on saying it, his neck, his back, his legs, he can't breathe, man. He can't breathe. And you just sit there, and I just can't, bro. I can't, bro. It's hurtful. It's heartbreaking. And to hear that Brianna, she got killed in her home. A home is supposed to be peaceful. A home is supposed to be peaceful, where you can do anything in your home. You can dance, you can flip, you can cook, you can sleep. They couldn't sleep, man. They couldn't sleep, man. It's hurting. And I'm tired of it. So what I want us to do is to change this. Change it, man. Not just here, but everywhere, man. Everywhere.
I'm very proud of her. She is born from Louisville, Kentucky, born and raised. Her name is Delise Hyde. She's only 11 years old, and she came up here and she wanted to speak out. So thank you to our young people that are here right now. Thank you to everybody here. To the people who are just now waking up. To the black people who are still angry. To the black people who might not be able to express their anger in the way that they feel like it's organized. To people who are rioting, to the people that are looting. We're happy that you're just now feeling it, but we've been feeling it. So come here and be organized with us. People are actually doing things not the right way. There's multiple ways to do it, but they're doing it in the best way that they can. We have a local Black Lives Matter chapter here. There's one in almost every city. They are organizing. You heard Quintez Brown. You can join. You can do something. And everyone that's here, we are doing something. But there are more people that's going to come later on. They might not hear everything that we planned. They might not know exactly what the organization told us to do. So spread the word. Because our organizers are doing so much. But they can't speak all the time. We have to pass it along. So make sure that if your brothers and your sisters, your aunties, your cousins, if they're coming to join you, make sure they are informed. Make sure the information is spread out as wide as possible. Because we need to reach the masses with this movement. We need to reach as many people as possible. And we need to continue doing this every day until we get justice. No justice. No peace. No racist. No peace. No justice. No peace. No racist. No peace. Thank you, you all.
I want to first thank everybody for coming out, the kings, the queens, and everybody for coming out. Because this is not a white versus black. This is an everybody versus racism. And with that, we're about to go back to the Ali Center. We're about to go back to the Ali Center and then drive to U of L. We're at 6 o'clock. We're having a
I just have
For those who didn't catch all the audio, it sounds like the plan for the day is here shortly. The protesters are going to march towards the Muhammad Ali Center. And then there's going to be a small gathering and discussion at the Muhammad Ali Center like we've seen in previous days. And then a group is going to leave from the Muhammad Ali Center and drive to the University of Louisville, where they're going to demand the University of Louisville cut their relationship with the Louisville Metro Police Department. The idea is that other cities and other colleges have stopped using their metro police departments that have had a frequency of clashes and other racist events.
Everybody that's staying, I don't want everybody to always, when they see the crowd walk off and like just stand there like, oh my God, what we're gonna do? Okay, there's plenty of people out here that don't know each other. Okay, what is the biggest reach in our generation? What does everybody have in their hand right now? A phone. Okay, and the quickest one is Snapchat to me. But I want to do this initiative. I want everybody to mingle with someone you don't know. Put them on your social media, telling why they are out here, and then you get on their social media and say why you're out here and share it. Because then your voice is being heard. They have friends you don't know, and you have friends they don't. So that's the way we can get the message out as well. So I just don't want everybody to feel like, oh, well, we just standing out of it. You know what I'm saying? There's always something we can think of. I just thought of that just now. I was trying to tell them. That'd be right. But you ever seen someone do that, guys?
okay.
So for those that are following along, looks like there's a group that is heading towards the Muhammad Ali Center. Appears to be mostly quiet. I know there's people that are singing in front. How you doing? It looks like there is some police presence. I mean, we see uniformed police officers, not in riot gear, standing along the government buildings. There's far less police presence, than we've seen in previous days. Early on there were, there was police in riot masked shields and sticks, and they were making a perimeter, around the protesters. Yesterday we saw none of that until the round of tear gas that happened roughly an hour after the curfew. Get across the street here and try to get like a better shot of the crowd, so you can see there's maybe 2 blocks worth of people that are heading northbound. Crossing Market on 6th, heading to the Muhammad Ali Center. So once again, if you are wanting to come down, if you're getting off work and you're thinking about coming down and joining, letting your voice be heard, yesterday was very, very peaceful until roughly 1 hour after curfew. There is water down here. There's cereal bars. There's fruit. There are medical stations that are set up. Should something go wrong. Yesterday, somebody had looked to be like a seizure, or I heard he might have been diabetic. He was laying on the ground and he was shaking, and there were medics that were on site, volunteer medics that came and helped him immediately. So if you want to come down and share your voice down here, I mean, it's very, very safe. As far as updates in other areas, to be honest, I have no idea. The only protest intel I ever get is just showing up on 5th and Jefferson and sort of following the crowd. I've mentioned in previous days that I have no contact with protest leaders or organizers, and I've chosen to stay away from all that. We do know that Metro in previous days has monitored my feed. So I try to stay away from that, as much as I can. And so this is on 6th Street, heading northbound towards the river. We're coming up on Main, heading towards the Muhammad Ali Center. And for those who didn't catch, as we know, Saturday night, David McAtee was killed in his restaurant on the corner of 26th and Broadway late at night. There has been some security footage that was released earlier today around maybe 1 o'clock. The Louisville Metro Police Department did put that up on their YouTube page. It's a security footage from one angle's from inside his restaurant, the other is from a neighboring building. It's pretty tough to see, and there's no audio. I do advise you not to take anyone's word on what is seen. You can go find that link on my page. It is also obviously on YouTube. Please go watch it. Of course, there's lots of other analysis needs to take place. All that fancy stuff that police can do, like ballistics and the tracking of firearms and so forth and so forth.
No peace. No peace. No peace. No justice. No peace. That's right. No peace. No peace.
As a chance you've kind of heard is no justice, no peace. Fuck the crooked ass police. I do want to echo something that Andy Bashir said yesterday on his live stream, that there is a very different, there's a very big difference between aggressively making your point and what's considered violence. And I very much agree with him on that point. That ultimately, chance of fuck the police or chance of of whatever, right, is far, far different than actually inflicting physical harm on anybody for any reason. We already wrote that little bit of history once. If you get some time, when Fuck the Police, the song came out, all this was covered. I feel like that issue was solved 15 years ago, but some people on social media seem to disagree. Yep. And so if you are looking to join, this is the Muhammad Ali Center. So up these steps here, there's a pavilion and almost like a small amphitheater where the crowd gathers. And there's also still some people that are left at 5th and Jefferson. And once again, there is food down here. There's bottles of water down here. There's sunscreen. There's medic stations. There is no sign of police other than some occasional officers on foot that are near government buildings. It's very, very safe. Yesterday, we didn't see any sort of hostility until the police showed up. Roughly 1 hour after curfew, there was one round of flashbangs and tear gas. Some other interesting news: the Kroger in the West End was looted last night. Obviously, well after the protest downtown. The protest downtown separated. it took the, actually I watched a man was standing outside of Kroger live streaming the entire thing. It took Louisville Metro Police Department 2 hours to respond to that Kroger being looted. I mean, you saw, it's terrible, but it's also kind of humorous. I mean, people were walking out of the, the Kroger carrying whole boxes of crabs, like live crabs, and somebody definitely raided the pharmacy. And you say what you will, but I saw no headlines this morning covering the fact that Louisville Metro Police Department took 2 hours to respond to a Kroger being looted. This includes the ATM where they shot it. There's multiple times where they were shooting at it, and then someone actually attached a bomb to the bottom of it. They ended up blowing up the side, and all the money flew out. And so this spot here, if you go to the Muhammad Ali Center and walk up the steps where we just came, this is where they gathered, in previous days to have, discussion, people share their opinions. No problem. Hold on one second. I'm catching up on some messages on my other phone. And from what I just heard, the plan was that there's some that's still at 5th and Jefferson. About half of the group has kind of came down here to Muhammad Ali Center. There was talks that either a large amount of the group is going to drive towards the University of Louisville. The idea is to try to pressure the University of Louisville to follow what other city-based colleges have done in separating ties with their police force. The overall concept is that any police force that has shown overly racist behavior doesn't need to be anywhere near our educators or our children that are being educated and so forth. So things are pretty quiet over here right now. I do want to re-talk about some of our previous days. This is day 5. I've been down here, and the protests overall have been going on for 6 days. Friday night, post-protests, we saw large amounts of rioting and looting. That's when, most of 4th Street Live got destroyed, as well as the South 4th Street and the neighboring blocks. None of that behavior seems to have been very widespread since then. I've said in previous streams that I do strongly believe that those that come to protest and those that come to, take advantage of the chaos are two completely different groups of people. Andy Bashir, when he spoke today, sort of gave that same sentiment, that he does not believe that those that are down here for a message are also those that, looted the Kroger last night or destroyed 4th Street Live on Friday. Friday there was a very large police presence, which I believe then sort of peaked on Saturday. Saturday, I know that I personally was tear gassed 6 times. Somewhere between 4 and 6 times. I was shot with pepper spray bullets. I was hit with a police baton and a riot shield. The police were very, very aggressive on Saturday, and yet, these protests continued, well into the night. Sunday was yesterday was much lesser. So Sunday was the police presence was much lessened, and then Monday they were almost non-existent until about 1 hour past curfew. 1 hour past curfew, they did begin marching towards the park. They were met with a small line of protesters where they did fire tear gas and pepper spray bullets into the crowd to disperse. Luckily, it was only one round of that, and then people seemed to then pretty much break up and go home, and that's about the time that I left. It's pretty quiet up here. I'm going to walk back towards 5th and Jefferson. I know I'm saying it for probably the 50th time at this point, but if you are interested in streams, and specifically a lot of the footage that I've streamed over the last several days, including those between police and protesters, all that video is available for download. The link is on my Facebook page. My name is WNEY. You're more than welcome to download it, cut it, take it, do with it what you will. I will say today, I have seen WHSS 11. Wave 3 was also down here. Spectrum News, I think, is probably the news station that I've seen the most, which is kind of interesting. To be honest, I hate Spectrum, but hey, man, they're out here every day. And I have once again chosen to leave the bike at home. I really hope that we don't walk all the way to 26th Street again, because that would have been much easier to do on a bicycle. I would love to get a skateboard to be able to move around on, but to be honest, I can barely skateboard without holding a phone. I'm pretty sure y'all would just watch me eat shit over and over and over if I had a skateboard. And I have entirely too much self-respect to get rollerblades, so for now, walking's the way to go. Yeah, and I saw people talk yesterday about people being escorted out and asked to leave Mall St. Matthews. There's something about protesting. The reason why a lot of protests take place in public parks is anytime that you protest in a non-public space, you can be asked to leave at any time by those that own that private space. Places like Oxmoor Mall, Jefferson Mall, any malls, movie theaters, Walmarts, Targets, whatever. Yes, while you always have your First Amendment rights, but those that own those businesses can ask you to leave, and if you do not leave, you can be charged with trespassing. Yeah, so we talked about Heelys yesterday. The reason that I didn't bring Heelys down is because I'm not here to pick up girls. I'm here to cover the news. So I've chosen to left my Heelys at the house. And so I am leaving the Muhammad Ali station, heading back south towards the courthouse on the Jefferson Park, across from the courthouse on 6th and Jefferson. Antonio, man, I appreciate you tuning in. You know, I almost wrote Louisville Metro Police Department today and was like, hey, if you're going to take 80 days to doctor footage, that you should probably hire Antonio Pandosha because he can do it way faster and way better. But I figured you just tell him no because you're a decent human being. Yep, so there was, as we just kind of saw on the right, I mean, there were some police that were kind of sitting off to the corner. You know, they were in uniform. You know, they're not in riot gear, like we've seen previously. You know, there's some that are sitting over on the steps of the courthouse. You know, a much different message than it's shown in previous days where they've been in riot gear with, you know, masks and sticks. You know, they're hanging out, talking, you know, having conversations. They don't appear to be there. They don't appear to be like they're here for, you know, any kind of war. Yeah, and so this is the courthouse at 5th and Jefferson. There are many people down here. Yeah, as you can see, I mean, people are dropping off supplies left and right. You know, there's water, there's food. It's very safe to be down here. If you want to come, you know, show your support. You know, don't feel you know, don't let the news dissuade you and make you think this is some terrible place. It's a very peaceful day. It's been a very peaceful last couple days, minus a small amount of instances. There's maybe 300 people now that are in the park.
I've got to say this because it's been on my heart to say. I've been in the neighborhood when these 12-year-olds been shot in the back of the head. We haven't done anything. We haven't done nothing. And if we're going to stand for something and we want change, please, let's go all the way. There's so much injustice in our city that needs to be addressed. Together, change it.
Yeah.
No. How you doing, girl? And you're on the bike. I see you. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Yeah, I might as well. Oh. And there is Mayor Fisher. He has graced us with his presence on day 5 of protests.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
if you all donate $200 to charity right now, I'll go pants the mayor. I'm just fucking with you. I will not do that. I'm not gonna pants the mayor. I'm not gonna get anywhere near the mayor. Yes, ma'am, you too. Do the best I can.
Hell yeah, we're gonna let them keep going. What do we care? You're peacefully protesting. All right, thank you.
Oh.
Give it up for the mayor, everybody. A lot of people do a lot of things out of emotion, and they don't never want to hear another side of it. Most people don't. I don't want to talk to cops. I don't want to talk to mayors. I don't want to talk to senators. I don't want to talk to anybody. Isn't that the people that we have to talk to get these issues resolved? Right? So let's give him a chance to give some clarity on everything that's happened. Because keep it honest, most young people do not watch the news. You know, that's just kind of what it is. If it's not Snapchat or Instagram, it's not going to get seen. So I wanted him to come out here and talk a little bit. While I just seen him myself. I'm 6'3". I know some of y'all didn't see him. But here you go.
Thank you, brother. Thank you guys for being out here. I'm here in support of what you guys have been fighting for and marching for. It's a long time coming in our country, and it's coming to a boil all across the United States right now. Saturday, 150 cities across America speaking out for justice and speaking out for truth about things that have been way too damn long in coming. The way I look at this right now, this is if this isn't a wake-up call for the United States of America, we need a gut check on what we think our country is. Because this is what our country is. The messages and the protests that are taking place right now. 400 years have led up to this frustration that won't be contained anymore. So will people that have the ability to change, and I'm not just talking about elected officials, will they have the guts to make the change that is long overdue? And until every person in this country, regardless of what they look like, whether they're privileged like me, or not so privileged just because of the silly concept of the color of somebody's skin, can't see a connection to a bright and hopeful future, that's a damn shame for the United States of America. And we are better than that. In this thing, to me, there's two major issues. There's lots of issues, but there's two major issues. The one issue is just the bone-crushing pain of poverty. Government, I can tell you at the local government level, probably 3/4 of what we deal with is because people don't have enough money to live. And when you don't have enough money for a roof over your head or food on the table or shoes on your baby's feet, it's hard to think about anything else. So we need to take what we call a minimum wage and needs to be moved to a family supporting wage so people have enough money to live. So we've got to figure out poverty. These are boring things, right? That people say, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear an answer tomorrow. Unfortunately, the way this system works in America is you got to elect people in office. You got to get a national living wage at the federal level. And so this is a marathon, folks. Now, we can start by what you're doing today, what you've been doing for the last 5 days, and I hope what you're going to do for the next 5 months, for however long it takes the change to come around until enough of America understands what the hell's going on.
What you gonna do?
So that's one issue. The second issue is the relationship between black communities and brown communities and our police officers. There's been an imbalance of power in our country since the first ship of enslaved people arrived 400 years ago. And it's gone all the way through today. And people tell me, Mayor, I'm tired of the history lesson. The reason I give the history lesson is because most people who look like me don't know their damn history. And if they knew their history, there might be a little more empathy to what the problem is. And when that empathy comes forward, maybe some justice will follow. So when you see me as your white mayor trying to have some calm in the city, those are the things that motivate me, why I want calm, so we can get to the bigger picture. Without people talking about, you know, well, we just want to calm things down so we can go back to business as usual. Folks, business as usual ain't working.
Amen.
And when I talk about going from a minimum wage to a family supporting wage, that would be a huge solution. That would change. That would eliminate poverty in our country. There are too many people. There are too many people that can't think about it tomorrow because they don't have money to buy food today. So that's one issue. The other big issue to me is the police community trust and legitimacy. And there's all kinds of other issues beyond that. But those are the big picture issues. I'm here to listen to you guys. I'm here to support you all in your right to peacefully protest. You've been doing a great job. We've had a few folks in the community that have distracted from the good work you're doing. So let's stay focused on doing it so that people say, oh, that's just a bunch of violent people. This is a bunch of passionate people that are trying to get the change our country needs. Yell some questions at me.
Do you plan on continuing to tear gas peaceful protesters?
No matter how much money you put in our community, that's not going to stop them from killing us, whether we live in the West End or Westport Road.
What's this? What's the question is, what is the solution to police brutality?
Please, everybody, the question was, what's the solution? What's the solution to police brutality, no matter what side of the city you stay in? We're gonna answer that question, and I want this stuff to be like in order. You know what I'm saying? It's the mayor. Show respect, no matter how you feel.
Yeah. I only get respect if I deserve respect. So, all right. In terms of how do we address the issue of productive police relationships? A couple of things. One is, a police officer should look at themselves as a guardian, not a warrior.
Right.
Okay? A police officer is here to protect us so we can exercise our rights. A police officer is not here to terrorize, to threaten. So, do you select the right people? Does the police force look like the community? Louisville's about 23% African American. Our police force is about 12 to 13% African American. We need help from folks that are African Americans that want to be on the police force. But look, some of them say, why would I want to be on the police force? They get ostracized by their community for being on the police force, and they get stressed out, so they can't be comfortable anywhere. That's a problem that you got to work on. And then it's training to do the right thing at the right time, and not to judge somebody on the color of their skin, whether it's a soccer mom on Westport Road or some young black dude at 26th and Broadway.
Get rid of
Put your mask down.
There are more police in the black community. That percentage doesn't matter. It's 23% is African American, and that community is policed at a higher rate.
The question is, the question, let me paraphrase the question. There's more police officers in the black community than in other parts of the community, right? Well, we deploy police where there are problems to attend to. And so you use data to do that. There's more crime in communities where there's lower income.
Retrain your cop. Not if it's drug crime. That is a lie.
Yes, dude.
Everybody, please.
Man, I know that you're aware that today in Minneapolis,
Give him the mic.
that
Give him the mic. Just talk.
I know that you're aware that today in Minneapolis, they opened up a federal investigation into the entire police department. My question for you is that after the Explorer scandal with the raping of little boys in the neighborhoods, after the attempted cover-up of the Breonna Taylor case, after what happened Tuesday with the gunshot. Do you think it's about time that our entire police department is under investigation by federal authorities?
Yeah.
And so the question is, observation is, and apparently Minneapolis Police Department, the federal government said they're going to do a top-to-bottom review of their police department today. And so the question is, after the Explorers case here in Louisville, and Breonna Taylor and David McAtee, do I think that should be done here?
Who trusts the FBI?
Yes! That's what we want out of you.
So here's what's happening.
Fuck the FBI.
Press criminal
That's-
charges.
Answer the question.
Yeah, thanks. All right, so on the Breonna Taylor case, I asked the FBI, the U.S. Attorney, the Attorney General to look at the case as well. So I want full review of what's going on there.
How can we trust
On the
them?
David McAtee tragedy the other night, Kentucky State Police is providing independent oversight on that case as well. And in our search process for the new police chief, it's in public, but we're putting out a request for proposal on it tomorrow. We're doing a top-to-bottom review of our police department by outside folks that have knowledge with the federal government, local governments, so they can analyze what our department is. The federal government comes in when they feel like you're out of control. If they wanted to come in, I'd welcome them in, just like I've welcomed these other investigations.
But we're asking you as citizens to question because that's how the citizens feel, and you represent us. Let's talk about it. That's your question. No, that's it. You want the answer. He didn't answer that one. No. Back to the last question, please. They never got
In my view, when I'm requesting a top-to-bottom review of our department, that's by outside officials from the federal government, from a whole different agencies.
Why not the Attorney General of the United States? Oh, we let you ask a question. Just let it go.
Yeah. Take a look at what that is. Give me some critique if that's not it. Okay, question over here about cover-up. I asked for multiple levels of review because if there's a cover-up, it's not going to get past the FBI, the U.S. Attorney, and the Attorney General. And that's all I can do. Now, if you think it is, I mean, you just don't trust the system. And I understand why you don't trust the system. I get that. I get that. So the system is not going to be blown up overnight. So we got to work with what we got. You all got to keep, if you see something that's wrong, if you got different facts, say something like you're doing right now.
The question is when?
What are we going to do about Donald Trump? Well, he's been threatening to send the military throughout the country, and I can tell you the mayors of America would be pushing back real hard on that. It's that would really make things worse. Really make things worse. Vote in November. Vote in November. The black t-shirt.
You're exactly right.
We had a black president, Trayvon Martin happened. Ferguson and all that stuff was happening. Our president was black, the most powerful man in the world. So why is just having more black police officers a good solution for you?
Why is having more black police officers a good solution? Unfortunately, my experience is in this world, people relate to people that look like them, people that have backgrounds like them. There's certain things I can say as a white mayor to white people about white privilege that they hear differently than if it's a black person saying something like that. And that hurts me. But that is the reality of America. So I feel like the more that the police force looks like the community, the better the police force we're going to have. People have got to see people that look like them, whether it's in the executive suite or firefighters or social workers. You never know who's going to be inspired by that. It matters.
So so a lot of things what you said is great in theory, but what can you do right now to give the people who have lost their wife, who've lost their girlfriend, who's lost their father, what can you do to give them a peace of mind? It's one thing to talk about in theory that the police need more training, more whatever. But what can you do now? Because the people are suffering now. The people are broken now. What can you do to guarantee justice or guarantee that we have justice or peace? Because until we do, the city will not. So what can you do to guarantee that those who have lost their loved ones, like Breonna Taylor, what can you guarantee for their family who's suffering and just broken right now? Because we're all broken, but the family is even more broken. So what can you do?
Thank you. Where you start is engaging with the family. So when a tragedy takes place, I don't know if any of y'all are like this, when something bad happens in your life, and you just say, could we go back 24 hours ago and have a redo here? When you lose somebody that you love, when an accident takes place and you can't believe it, you want to roll back the clock. But life doesn't work that way. So for Miss Palmer, Tamika Palmer's, Breonna's mom, when we ask for these levels of review, we ask that for their family so that the truth comes out. When we talk to David McAtee, Yaya's mom, Miss Odessa, who in the middle of all this mess yesterday, and this is a lesson in grace, where she says, Mayor, I'm praying for you. Who says that when their son has been killed 14 hours ago? She does. I'm talking about showing grace. So what we can do with her in this moment is say, how can we help you
Fire
in
dirty
this moment?
cops.
And she says, work with us on it. So we start with the family, we go through the system, charges are filed, civil suits are filed, damages can be paid back to the, it's not a measure for the loss of a loved one. It's not just, but that's all we can do. All right? Let me address one question that has not been asked. And that's with the big sticking point for many people. And you're not going to be happy with my answer, but some of y'all might think I lie all the time. I think I tell the truth all the time. With Breonna Taylor, the big question is, why can't we arrest and prosecute these 3 police officers?
Yeah.
So let me give you a wholly inadequate response that you will not like, but it's the way the laws work. And you may not like the laws either. So if you don't like the laws, you got to elect people to change the laws. So here's how it works. No, it's not me, bro. Please listen to me. Louisville Metro government operates under state law, okay? We are not the state. So if you want to get really up to speed, and again, this is very boring, but this is the reality of what I got to live with. KRS 67C dictates how we operate as a city. Under that statute, police officers, with that, combined with the collective bargaining unit, with their union, the police union, have rights. The rights are to an investigation that has to... I agree with you. I can answer the question. I don't like the answer either, but this is the law. They have rights to go through a public integrity investigation, which has now been handed over to the Attorney General, Daniel Cameron. Then it goes to and Daniel Cameron will decide whether or not criminal charges will be filed. So it's in his hands. Then there's a professional standards unit that decides any other activities that the police have got to be taken on the police in terms of discipline.
What about the body cam?
And then there's one more issue on the Commission for Police Accountability and all this work right. This process work takes way too much time compared to what people want to see. I get that. That's why we handed over the case from LMPD when it was 95% done, not 100% done. I could have waited another month. I said, get that case to them so they can begin working on the case. All I want is the truth to come out. Y'all may not believe this, but I belong to the citizens of Louisville, you guys. All right, so that's why we're not holding these things up. But it's how our law works. Now, some people say fire them anyway. Here's what's going to happen if they get fired. Let's assume that they should be fired. All right, now let me tell you what will happen. Let me tell you what will happen. Let me tell you what will happen. They will not go to jail. They will be fired. They will appeal that. They will be back on their job within 1 week with back pay, with damages from the city. Because that's how the law works. So think about this. That is state law, my brother. I'm sorry, folks. If I could change any of that, I would. So thank you, guys. Vote people in, man. You gotta vote people in. I'll be around if you want to ask more questions. I wanted to answer that question. I knew you wouldn't be happy with it either. But it's the truth. So protest peacefully tonight. Keep it alive. Keep working for change. And we will tell our cops to be peaceful. All right? Absolutely. Okay. All right. I'll be back, and I'll be here for questions. Thank y'all. March on. Keep shouting. I'll do what I can. Thank y'all. Take care.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Now look, everybody. Listen. Everybody, listen. Nobody out here is trying to step on nobody's toes. Yesterday, once again, we did this earlier. Who was out here last night? Raise your hand. Who was out here last night? What did I say I was going to do today? I was going to bring speakers so everybody could be heard. Did I not? Thank you. Okay. When the mayor was walking over there, some of y'all didn't even see him. Y'all was not going to say, hey, mayor, come answer some questions. Everybody's been begging the mayor to answer some questions. I called him out as a man. Mayor, come answer some questions. He could have kept walking. That's his right to keep walking. But he came and answered some questions in front of the hostile crowd. What more do y'all want? We want our demands. He tried to tell y'all how the structure, how the police are getting prosecuted. If y'all watch the news, you would know on a federal level, they are trying to strip away the protection of police on a federal and state level. So it's stupid to ask him, are you going to fire the cops, are they still protected? If you watch the news and keep up with these things, it's important. I know it's boring. I know it sucks. It's not loving hip hop. It's not twerking. It's not none of that. But we gotta treat these things with the same attention. We gotta. I'm talking to the younger crowd. No. Look, you talk. Nobody. What if I said that was unpeaceful? What if I said that was unpeaceful? What if I said it's unpeaceful? No, I'm not. I said the same things last night. If y'all was here last night, I said the same thing last night and nobody said anything. No, we did not. It was teenagers and kids here last night. So I was speaking for my generation. You can speak for yourself. Just what you're saying, you're speaking for yourself. You're speaking for yourself.
Clowns. Every day.
now I give people space. He can speak, but you do not represent us. Do not insult us with some love and hip hop.
Time though. It's not the time though. It's not the time though.
That's what's been going on with the protests every day. Every day. If you see people that's organizing every day, that's happening every day. This, every day. You could have pulled me to the side like a grown-up. You could have said something. That's what I'm talking
Mindset. Don't turn on one another.
You disrespecting me and saying don't talk about me. That's what they want to do.
Change. That's what we change.
The numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. Young people don't want to know.
They just want to talk.
No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace.
We got bigger things to fucking do. I love that. Like, let's get the FBI. Let's not get the feds. Please.
No justice.
No peace.
No racists.
Police.
No justice.
No peace.
No racists.
Police.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Say Hardy!
Breonna Taylor.
Say Hardy!
Breonna Taylor.
Hello. So,
I have so much to add, and I will in just a little bit.
Hello? This is not a time for us to be divided. We need to stand as the front. We cannot be arguing in front of them. We look like a mockery. We can't do that. We are here as the front. We will stay as the front until we get justice. We will not be divided. Thank you.
United we stand! United we stand! United we stand! United we stand! United we stand!
What we want, when we want it, what we want, when we want it, what we want, when we want it. Hey, we gotta come out here as a unit. UNITY as unity. We gotta come out here as a unit. We gotta fight for it. That's why we out here. You know, I personally disagree that he was answering answers. I want some answers about justice. I want the answers about what's gonna happen. If we talking about firing them, we need to prosecute them too. That's what I'm talking about. That's all. That's what I want. We want justice.
Blacks and the minorities voted Michigan, Pennsylvania, and all that. Hillary would be president. You all fucking papers with that. Look though. But we are here.
These people probably voted.
We are here to march, right? We are here for the good things, right? We want this to change. We want to change, don't we? We want to change, don't we? We want the community to change. We want them to stop killing us. We want them to treat us all equal. Right? So it's no justice.
No peace.
Prosecute the police. No justice.
No peace.
Prosecute the police. Come on. No justice.
No
Justice up.
Prosecute the police.
That's power. No justice.
No peace.
Prosecute the police. We ain't been out here for 5 days for nothing. Divide and conquer, that's not what it is. The beef, that's not what it is. It's organization, that organization, no, we all one. We one city, right? We all one. And that's what we're going to be, right? United we stand. United we fall. United we stand. United we fall. Is that what we hear about? Yes. What we want? We want justice. We want justice. You know, we got these men out here speaking. We got the women speaking. Cool, we got respected. We got respected. Cool. But then we about justice. We're about justice. We want this house right here to change. We want that house right there to change. We want that house right there to change. On Broadway, we want that house to change. We want that house to change. You see, they not tired. You see, they not tired. They in there eating pizza, having a good time. We out here every day. Sweat, blood, and tears. That's what we want. We want this. We want justice. We want justice. Right? We out here early. They set a curfew, right? They set a curfew. They thought it was going to stop us. Now we still going to march. We still going to march. Because we want Breonna Taylor for justice. We want David for justice. We want George for justice. We want Sean Reed for justice. We want all these people for justice, right? Is that what we want? People that died in your family, people got murdered by cops that y'all know what we want for them. Justice. We want justice for them. Enough is enough. We tired of dealing with the same thing for 400 years. But today it's going to stop. Today it's going to stop. Every day we've been out here, it stopped. You see when we was lined up out here, the police, the SWAT, they was lined up out here. We was all with our fists up. We was in unity. That was power. What they do? They left and went home. They left and went home. Because they said, oh, we can't break them. Because we unity. We a family, right? Does anybody disagree? Does anybody disagree? No. Every time we in unity and we all for each other, we not arguing. We lined up. We got hands up, don't shoot. What they do? They leave. They leave. They leave. I know everybody get their frustration any kind of way, looting, whatever, but we're going to use our voice. Because they're going to hear us today. They're going to hear us today. They're going to hear us today. They're going to hear us today, right? Hands up, don't shoot. 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 Man, I'm tired of them. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of them killing this innocent people. Innocent people. Come on. I'm tired of them. You next, yep. I'm tired. I'm tired. But I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic. I'm going to pass the mic. Okay, yeah. Coronavirus, we're going to wipe out the mic.
You know, I could appreciate seeing multiple races and ethnicities and everybody coming out here for a purpose. But my question that's going to challenge each and every one of y'all is, what's next? See, this is good. I dig it. We standing here. We standing in unity. We're making a difference. If you're down here, you're part of the solution. So what's next after this? What's next after the marching? What's next after the protesting? What's next after the looting? What's next? Where do we go from here? Who is sitting in the room strategizing? Which one of y'all saying, if we want to make a real difference, then get in the building. Run for office. We can stand out here and do this all day. But which one of y'all's the next mayor, the next one, the next prosecutor? We're standing out here. That's how you make a difference, the system ain't gonna change. The system been broken for 400 years. The system has to change from within. And if we're all on the outside saying, system change, system change, system change, what is the system gonna do? It ain't gonna change. It ain't changed the last time. It ain't changed the time before that. It didn't change the time before that. It didn't change when Martin Luther King, you go back to Emmett Till, you go back to Black Wall Street and Rosewood. It ain't changed. Why? Because we're not in the system to change it. Everybody in here got a voice. Change your major. Change what you're doing. Get out here in the community. Like he said, be a police. And police the police from the inside. I'm all for marching. I'm all for standing up. I have a 14-year-old son. My dad was murdered. I get it. I get it. But if we want to heal honestly, y'all know where it starts at? Forgiveness. Right. Y'all ain't like that, right? No. Right, because now we got to forgive I had to look at the dude that killed my dad and say, you know what? I forgive you. I forgive you. Oh, there's freedom in that. If we're going to heal, I'm all for it. But let's take the proper steps to be effective in how we move, strategic in how we move. Doing things that make a difference. This is making a difference. But I want to see somebody on the ballot. I got to vote. I got to vote to say, oh, you ready? I dig it. Let's roll. And I'm out here marching the streets, passing out flyers. Let's get it. But after this ends, somebody tell me what's next so I can go tell my crew this is the next phase in this process. Somebody give me some instructions. What's next? All right. We don't. That's right. You have all this. You have the power and the voices of people that want to do something. But what's next? What's next? I'm done. I'm done, y'all. Y'all bless y'all, and I'm with y'all. We gonna roll. We gonna roll peacefully. Peacefully.
I just want to say, with the time I spent working within my community, that it is very important that we are aware of those representing us, from the least to the biggest, to the White House. Do we know our councilmen? Do we know our state representatives? Do we know who's representing us? You have to be informed. Knowledge is power. So where we go from here, get involved. Know who's running and calling the shots in your neighborhood. Get involved in your neighborhood. Right. And we as black people, I have to say it, we have to help get a grip on the generation that is out of control and do not know how to express their frustrations. I cannot imagine what it would be like to be a 20-something today. Right. They are going through pure hell. History is history. 2020 is the new millennium. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Already loud here. Hey.
It ain't going down like that today.
It's not.
No,
he ain't going to speak.
It ain't going down like that.
I will wait the whole day to hear all
it ain't going down like that.
I don't care what color I am. Every single one of you.
This is not our like this.
Hi. Who I am doesn't matter. And 2020's been kind of wild. It's been really wild, like coronavirus, and then like police just going around murdering people for no fucking reason. But that's not new. Yeah, it's been going on for a long while. This is amazing. This is history in the making. I am so amazed by all of this. They may murder us, they may shoot us, they may harm us, but they can never break us in a way that matters. They can never break our spirit. They can never break our soul. They might, tear gas us and all of that, but they can never harm us in a way that matters. They may bring one down, but they will not bring us all down. No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! But, we're saying that please do your best to live. Live to fight another day. You cannot help anyone when you are dead. Do not try to get into fights with these police officers. They will kill you. They will murder you and they will harm you. They will harm your families. Live to fight another day. No justice. No peace. We are all here and they cannot bring us down. Okay.
I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? That was hilarious. Okay. She's a little out of touch, for sure. I was like Polly Sunshine.
All right. I just want to tell everybody that it does matter who I am. My name's Jordan, and it matters who all of you are. If you have a voice, I will listen to you. We can all speak today. That's why I like this. This is what community is, when you know the faces of your community and you know the names of your community. And I want to address what Mayor Fisher said about, well, you can elect people. That's where your power lies. And I have a problem with that because how many people know that we're electing the House of Representatives primary on June 23rd? How many people know we're electing the Senate as well as the President? How many people know that we live in a state with a closed primary? If you are a registered Democrat and you agree with a Republican more, you cannot vote for a Republican. When you are a Republican and you agree with a Democrat more, you cannot vote for a Democrat. How many people know that? I didn't go to college, all right? All this shit is on the internet. All the legislation is on the Kentucky government internet. You do not need education to be educated. Not anymore. This is 2020. All right?
Yo, that was miseducation.
Now, with the elections every year, I've always had a problem with it, and it's not a societal, it's not a political problem, it's a societal problem. It is about money. The people with the most voice, they own the TV. They own the TV. As you see, the same people over and over again. Amy McGrath, Trump.
I don't want to go.
Let's see. What's his name? Mitch McConnell. That's his name.
Oh my God.
Fuck Mitch McConnell, but he owns the TV. He's gonna be all your see. Actually, Amy McGrath in black and white footage with her being degraded by Mitch McConnell. That's what you're gonna see. Okay, a lot of politicians, they attack other politicians. They don't say what they believe. They attack other politicians. Anyway. One moment, man. Anyway, I think it's the news responsibility. I think it is our local news responsibility to cover every single candidate during an election so that people are informed. You shouldn't have to search for it. We should know as a community who has a voice. And if everybody did have an equal voice, if people didn't own the TV, if everybody had an equal voice on the TV and the values that our reporters held meant searching out for the voices and giving them to people, we would not have to search for them, and we would know our elections would be better, you know? Like, I know at tops 4 people during an election for most every year. And that has to change if we're going to have good elections. And like I said, it's a societal thing. It's not a political thing. The news needs to change. The news is showing the protests every night. If you show up to the protest, that's not news. You were there. You don't need to see that. You know? People just want to see a train wreck. You know, that's what people like. They want to see shit on fire. You know, they want to get angry. Sorry for saying shit. That's all I have to say. This man wants to speak. She doesn't want him to speak. I want to give the mic to him, but...
Hi, my name is Kaylee. I'm not originally from here, but I moved here when I was 7 years old. Used to live over on 2nd Street. I know this city pretty well. Hey, there we go. If Trayvon Martin was alive, he'd be 25. If Breonna Taylor was alive, she would be turning 27 in a few weeks, and I'm turning 27 this week. Today, Friday. So soon. Sandra Bland died on my 21st birthday. I want this to stop because every year I wonder if I'm going to make it another year. And that is not okay. I want to know that the children I dream of having will have a future. Now, what you can do, you can run for office. You can get your degree in whatever you want because we need doctors who are in administration. We need educators who are in administration. We need everyone in administration. We need you to be the ones making the laws. We need you running the hotels, the restaurants. We need to not feel discriminated when we walk in a place. So you keep doing what you're doing. You keep speaking out, and you will find the way to use your voice.
We want to wrap the mic up, but y'all can still protest, but we can wrap the mic up.
Thank everybody for coming out. Please stay strong. Look, I'm not with the division. I don't want to think y'all nobody's divided or whatever. Look, I just want everybody to protest peacefully, hold everybody accountable, and I seen that speakers was needed, and that's all I tried to do. And I tried to answer some questions. That's all I tried to do, y'all. I'm sorry if anybody feel like we embarrassed him or anything like that. I'm sorry, my man. I apologize. But I'm going to still be out here. Y'all know what we going to do. We probably hit the sidewalk, or y'all can march, or people that feel like they want to stand in the street. We ain't telling nobody how to protest. Do your thing.
More people want to speak.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Okay. Feel like we got a lot to catch up on. So for those that kind of came in the middle of that, we are down at 5th and Jefferson, across from the courthouse. This is day 5 of organized protests. Be good out here. Be safe, okay? This is day 5 of organized protests. All of today has been pretty peaceful. I got down here around 5 o'clock. What we just saw was kind of an open mic time for people to come out and pretty much say whatever they need to say, and that came immediately after Mayor Fisher answered some questions. There was a whole lot of points that what's up, baby boy? How you doing? Good. There's several points that you kind of get. You're about to get a one-on-one with Jason for a minute here. One point that kind of came up a couple times I saw people talking about is that young people don't vote. And that's absolutely true. That is 100% true that young people do not vote. Do not take my word for it. You can go online, you can check our census, and you can look at voting history. What's up, man? How you doing? All right. Good. Yes, sir. And you can look at voting history for every election on the state, in the city, the state, and national level. And you can see that the reason that old white men keep getting elected is because old white men go vote in droves, while young people do not. I understand that those that protest vote, and those that come out here and speak their words, they vote too. The problem is all the people that stay at home do not vote. Tell your friends, go vote. Okay, off my mini soapbox for a minute. Until we vote, nothing's gonna change. Mayor Fisher got up and Mayor Fisher asked questions or answered questions. Sort of the most controversial answer was also a true answer. The reason what's taking so long with the prosecution of officers in the Breonna Taylor case. The police has a union, and how the police can be handling the union is actually That's under a state jurisdiction. The mayor quoted that jurisdiction. I don't know it offhand. I do advise you to Google it. For what it's worth, the due process has to be followed. The problem is that the process in place is obviously, not working for people. What else did we hear? I don't know. There's honestly a lot. While we've got this couple minutes of downtime, if there's any questions that you all have that you think I might be able to ask, or if it's something that you want to see, feel free to talk about it. I'm going to flip my camera back around and kind of re-show the world here. So we are at 5th and Jefferson. This is day 5 of peaceful protests. If you're wanting to come down and join, it's an absolutely safe day. It's been relatively safe the last couple of days. Yesterday I was down here until roughly an hour after curfew. And then there was one round of tear gas and flashbangs to disperse the crowd, and then everybody left. If you do want to come, there's bottled water, there's food. There are police that are walking around in uniform today. They're talking with protesters. They're taking pictures in front of signs. All that is here. It's a very peaceful day. It's a very safe day. It's a very quiet day. This seems like there are definitely less people today than there was yesterday. I don't know if that's because of just where I'm standing right now, but I do feel like there is less people than we've seen in days previous. However, it does seem that the group itself is more organized. And that was the first day that there was a mic and speakers for asking and answering questions. There's definitely far more resources and supplies down here. I saw people talking about all day about how they were bringing down, bottles of water and food for everybody. And, I got to admit, they delivered. Everybody that's down here, has access to food and water. There's medical tents that are set up. And like I saw yesterday, someone had, it appeared to be like a low blood sugar or a seizure. And there was 2 medics on site that came and took care of him pretty much immediately. I guess I had this tall, beautiful man.
What's
up,
up,
baby boy? How you doing?
Good, man. Good. I didn't want to. I saw you. I didn't want to bother you while you were.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you. My name's Nathan.
I'm Jason, man. Good to meet you.
I didn't want to bother you while you're live.
Yeah,
so.
you want to say live? Anything to the crowd?
What's up, man?
That's Hugh Blasky, by the way. This is a good friend. I'm only wearing the half ninja mask today, so everybody can tell who I am.
Well, I saw you perched up there yesterday. I was really close to you, but when you're live, I don't want to take you away from your loyal followers. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, you're one of the few reasons I know why what's going on is what's going on. So thank you.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
I, doing my part, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, man. Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, and you're doing a really good job.
Well, cool. I'm, I guess, keep spitting my speech and walking in circles.
Let them know, son.
Are we? I saw you over there earlier. Are we walking tonight?
I'm assuming at some point. I never really know what's going on until it happens. I just kind of stand here and be short, It's kind of
same. Oh my gosh,
dude,
we have so much in common already.
Yeah, we're already friends.
Are we best friends?
We are. We are
best friends.
It was good to see you.
Absolutely.
Be careful.
Hey, y'all be good. Yep. Be safe. Keep out of trouble.
Yeah,
yep. Oh. Sorry. Back in action. Yeah. So there was talks earlier that some of the core of the group was going to head down to the University of Louisville, and they're charging the University of Louisville. When I say charging, I mean like they're going to try to ask the University of Louisville to break their ties with Louisville Metro Police Department. Other cities have sort of made that same change, other city colleges, and the idea is that if police forces are showing a history of overtly racist behavior, then that they don't need to be anywhere near, where our students and where our learning takes place. I don't know. I just feel like people understand. I mean,
No.
Yep. Yeah. So once again, this is in downtown Louisville. This is 5th and Jefferson, across from our courthouse. Sort of a recap once again of what we've seen in previous days. Friday was a pretty rough day. That's when the majority of the rioting and looting seemed to take place. Check that. We got some baskets full of pizza here. They're handing out. That's awesome. On Friday was where the majority of the looting took place. And pending after that, the mayor implemented the curfew that we're all supposed to follow. The crowd has not paid any attention to that curfew on the last couple of days. They've been, met with yesterday, and turned into like a yesterday, after 7 or 8 hours of peaceful protest. Approximately 1 hour after curfew, the police responded, with fireworks and flashbangs and tear gas. Saturday, Saturday was a very, very large police presence where the National Guard and the Louisville Police Department and Kentucky State Police were actually marching behind the protesters as they moved around downtown Louisville. They were using there's apparently a Kentucky State precedent that says if you block traffic for any reason at all, it becomes an unlawful protest. So they're using that for reasons to shoot flashbangs and pepper spray bullets at protesters.
Yo, can I bum a cigarette off of you all? I got $1.
What you said was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Probably. I don't know who it is, but I'm sure it is. If they left it. All right, we say you too.
I know.
Jiminy Rat.
Nope. Over to my right, looks like a man's getting sick for reasons I don't know. And actually, the police here are attending to him, making sure it looks like maybe they're giving him some glucose tablets, bottled water, putting on gloves and looking at him. So it's actually kind of nice to see, the police actually helping people out here. There's other protesters that are walking around, with bags, they're collecting trash, everyone's picking up after themselves. See. Yeah, I think I'm all caught up on comments. I guess we're just kind of hanging out for now. I'm going to drop my phone in my pocket real quick and drink some water. 1 minute here. All right, we are back. I do have the gray Dickies on. To be honest, all of my black clothing except for this last shirt is still covered in tear gas. So I really ran out of options.
Yeah.
Episode 7. They work on a present for the president.
See ma. Yeah, I'm gonna stand up on a ledge over here to see if I can get a good wide shot of the crowd. I mean, so there's still, you know, several hundred people that are down here. And police presence, I mean, you know, I've not seen any police in riot gear. You know, there have been, you know, police officers. You know, obviously we are by the courthouse and we are by the police station. So seeing police officers in uniform just kind of hanging out on these blocks is actually pretty standard behavior. But yeah, not like in previous days with the, you know, the National Guard, the Kentucky State Police with riot shields and gas masks and, you know, the pepper spray firearms and so forth. You know, Andy Bashir did say today that they have began withdrawing National Guard presence in Louisville and other cities across the state. I've not seen any National Guard since I've been down here. Even on other days, you know, while they weren't directly parked in the park, you know, I saw, you know, several Humvees and others that were parked on the corners. And I didn't see any of those on my way down here today.
All right, Sulu. Jason?
Yes, sir.
We've been following you for
Yeah,
days,
we give you elbows, man.
Thank
Coronavirus.
you so much for being out here, man.
Ain't no problem.
We
You guys are
appreciate your
tuning. I'm
coverage
glad
and
you all are
everything.
down here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We've been following you for days.
I
can't make it down. Yeah,
Good
anytime
deal.
we can make down what's happening to you and seeing what's going on. So thanks
Awesome.
for keeping us informed, man.
No problem.
Appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
I feel like we've known you for years now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's really only 3 facts you need to know. Number 1, I'm 5.5 feet tall. Number 2, I'm kind of funny. You know, and like that's it. Like, if you know those 2 things, and I wear Dickies all the time. Like, those are the only Jason Downey facts that anybody needs to know. So.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being
No
out
problem,
here.
man. You guys be good. Thank you. Oh no, I have no idea if they're gonna march anywhere today. Yeah, I just kind of go along with the flow every day.
So that's my first time out here.
And it's you know, everybody appears to be, you know, mostly hanging out. There was a group that walked down to the Muhammad Ali Center earlier, and then, you know, they walked back. I like that guy's sign. That guy's sign said, "We bought your cameras, leave them on." You know, as in tax dollars bought police cameras. There's no reason they should be turned off.
Shit. I signed off in a second because my phone's been weird and I forgot
Yeah.
to share your stream.
Oh, I appreciate you.
Every time I sign off, I'm like, I'm pretty sure Jason Downey's still streaming, so I'm going to share that. Y'all go check it out.
Yeah, I mean, I've got like this, you know, astronomical, like this gigantic battery in my backpack. I could stream for like 12 hours in a row.
I've got a backup battery for
Nice.
and some people dropped off like $600 worth of supplies for us coming down, and 2 of them were 12-hour
Wow.
battery packs for fucking clients.
Wow, that's fucking rad, man.
I don't know where I'm going to put them yet because I don't know who needs them most yet, but like, somebody down here is going to end up getting them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, I hope it kind of just continues how it has been, right? Where everyone shows up, it's peaceful all day, and then I want, at curfew, like,
I wouldn't mind if at curfew people fucking...
Yeah, just rolled out because what's going to happen if they don't is I'm going to get tear gassed again. Yeah, I'm not feeling that.
Right, I'm not leaving until it gets
right.
tear gassed, like...
How you doing?
And yesterday, my friend took my car to run an errand real quick, and then that's whenever they dropped. So, like, my mask and shit was in the car, so I was just like, great.
Yeah.
Great. I don't have any goggles, I don't have a respirator. This is
This is perfect time to get it. Yep. Well, cool, man. I'm gonna keep walking my circle. Appreciate you. Yep, and just a reminder, if you do want to come down, I mean, I can see directly in front of us. There's plenty of water. There's food. How you doing? There's food. Feel free to come out and show your support. It's been safe. It's been pleasant all day. The only police presence we've seen are those in uniform, and they're giving hugs and they're taking signs. They're taking care of protesters. What's up? You living okay? You living good? Is that your kid running around? Yeah. God, look at her. All right, Mom, I see you. Oh. Sorry, excuse me. All right. I gotta walk away from the music because if it hears too much copyright music, it'll take my feed down. Yeah, thanks, Mark Zuckerberg. All right, I'm gonna catch up with all these comments real quick.
Don't worry, I've got his ass will be out. All of us are voters.
Oh, that was.
Yeah, I'm not sure which day that you all are talking about. Yesterday, it was around 10 o'clock was when they started. Is when they did the single round of tear gas and pepper spray into the crowd. So all my days are running together. Yesterday they gassed and pepper spray bulleted. Roughly 1 hour after curfew. The day before that, they gassed, pepper sprayed, and deployed police and riot gear roughly an hour and a half before curfew, and that's when they aggressively pushed people out of downtown. Saturday was by far the worst day. We saw events like Occupy Portland's, and I got tear gas multiple times. I got pepper gas multiple times. It was pretty bad. And since that Saturday, each day we've seen less and less police presence. Yeah, there are police here, but the police are not here to not in an aggressive sense. They said they're having conversations with protesters. They're hugging. Looks like they assisted to get EMS in for someone who's getting sick.
A little bit.
peace.
Rescue police. No justice.
No peace.
Rescue
Police.
no justice.
No peace.
Rescue
Police. No peace.
Rescue
Police.
no justice.
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 No peace.
Rescue
Police. No peace.
Rescue
Police. No peace.
Rescue
Police.
Be the change you wish to see. Be the change you wish to see. Be the change you wish to see. You can join in on this one. Be the change.
Be the change you wish to see. Be the change you wish to see. Be the change you wish to see.
Be the change you wish to see.
Be
I'm afraid.
Hi, Shannon. She's watching right now. Hi, Shannon.
No.
Yeah. Let's see. Is there oh no, cancel. I'm trying to see if I can see my viewers. Is Shannon watching? Shannon's my hero, y'all. I don't know if she's currently watching, but Shannon took a rubber bullet to the head on Saturday, and got banged up, probably worse than anybody else that I've seen. And then she's been out here ever since, still supporting the cause and delivering, water and supplies to down here for people to stay and spread the message. And it takes some serious balls, for the lack of a better term, some serious balls to to take an injury like that and then kind of come back and still stand for what you believe in. It's very impressive. She's my hero.
This is Kristen Fry. I forgot about that part. And then I still got some water and stuff in here.
Yep, looks like we got a drone out. No idea if that's a police drone or whatever. I do see you boys over here on the roof again. That's pretty standard by this point. But yeah, the crowd's pretty quiet today. With the sun kind of going down, actually feels pretty nice out here. If you still want to come down, like I've mentioned, I mean, there's plenty of bottles of water, there's food that people have brought up. It's a very safe day. oh, I know who you are. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, that girl's taking a picture of me.
How are you?
I'm good, how you doing?
Good. I'm watching your stuff every day. That's the first day I've had off to be able to come down here, so I'm finally here.
You picked a nice day for it. It doesn't look like any tear gas. I mean, it's,
let's hope not.
yeah, it's actually
Justin's got Leo, so I was like, I'm going to go down actually.
good deal.
Thank you.
Well, good to see you.
For everything, seriously.
No problem. Yeah, so in the distance, you know, here they're calling out, you know, different names of people of color that have died to police brutality in the last couple months. Breonna Taylor, David McAtee, George Floyd, and then many others. You know, a telltale sign of how you think a crowd is doing is what they're chanting. You know, things like Breonna Taylor versus fuck the police. Definitely two different moods between protesters. And there are definitely far less fuck the police and fuck 12 that we've seen today as in other days. So it sounds like tensions are kind of lessening on both sides. Of course, people are still down here. You know, as we saw during Mayor Fisher's talk, they are demanding for justice. They are demanding for charges to be brought against those police officers. The mayor gave a very political answer to what he was going to do about that. His answer was to quote the legislature on how the process works, and he reiterated that it's a state ordinance. Looks like the crowd might be marching. I'm gonna try to walk over there, go with them. And so the governor talked about how it's a state ordinance that talks about how police can be prosecuted because the union has a sort of protection. And so there has actually been some, and I didn't cover this earlier, but there has been progress made towards some federal changes that are going to allow police officers to be prosecuted more liberally and not have to make it the process so drawn out so that people can get the accountability that they really want. I honestly don't know anything about that federal reform or when it started or who posted it or where it is in the process, but everybody should do some Googling and figure that out.
So we got to our car quick, but also they were like throwing gas at the car and like.
time.
Yeah, so I can't tell if they're just walking around the block or if they're actually marching down the street. Yeah. All right. It looks like there is a. You know, they are marching. We are marching eastbound, leaving 5th and Jefferson, heading east on Jefferson.
I guess that's what they can't say that we're not being peaceful.
It's like in the last couple of days, anytime the traffic gets blocked, the dude comes over with a little speaker, like, this is now an unlawful protest, you can't block per KRS, and that's when, yeah. It seems to me that the thought is that if the crowd's in the street and they keep moving, I don't know if this is fact, but if everybody keeps moving, it's fine. It's the second everybody stops. Yeah. All right. Yes, if you are still watching and you're interested in coming down,
No peace! No peace! No peace!
I'm gonna hike across the street real quick, try to get a good wide shot of everybody here. I mean, so we can see that the crowd is just passing 4th Street. Yeah, the crowd's passing 4th Street here, and I'm gonna do a slow, steady pan, down the sidewalk here. I know the sun's kind of making it ugly here, but that's the whole line extending down to the 6th Street there. So there are multiple blocks of people that are all walking together. Yeah, so we can see here. This is this is the north side of 4th Street Live right here. Where all these windows got busted out on Friday night. We've not seen that kind of, well, not all of them, but a good chunk of them. We've not seen any rioting or looting since that day, at least downtown.
Can I ask, what is your name?
Jason Downey.
You're Jason. Okay.
I'm Jason.
All right. Hey, I know you don't know me, but I was watching your stream earlier when I was trying to come in.
Oh, cool. Thank you, man. Yeah. Glad I could be of assistance.
Yeah, I started hearing about you, obviously, from your escapades from the other night as well.
I mean,
trying to evidently chase you down on a bike and everything.
It's been mildly wild because it's like Friday I came down here I was like, I'm going to stay for like half an hour. And then I happened to, this other dude got run over by like a van on his motorcycle. And I was like, well, I'm going to stay with him until he gets his insurance and shit. And then I turned the corner again and they were launching tear gas at protesters. And I pulled up my phone and I was like, holy shit, I got to record this.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of never stopped. So that brings us to where we are today. Yeah, man, glad to see you down here. What do you think?
Yeah, I've been down here Thursday, Saturday. Was arrested Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, you're arrested Saturday?
Oh, yeah, I was one of the people arrested on Broadway.
No shit. What they charge you with?
Unlawful assembly.
Unlawful assembly.
And that was all of us, because there were about 20 of us, with about 19 other men, and some of them had been grabbed before the curfew.
Yeah.
So we were confused because none of us were ever told our charges.
Yep. Okay.
Literally until we left the next day and were handed the piece of paper, we did not know what we were charged with.
Wow.
We ended up finding out that everybody was charged with unlawful assembly, nothing related to the curfew specifically.
Yep. So for those of you kind of caught that half the conversation, gentleman next to me, he and some others got arrested on Saturday on Broadway. That's when things were really bad. They charged him. They never told him what the charges were until he was released from jail. And they said they got you with unlawful assembly.
Yes.
Is there like a fine associated with that?
I don't know yet. Our court date is on the August 18th,
okay.
Or as we're calling it, our reunion.
I shouldn't laugh, but
no,
yeah.
You should laugh because it's hilarious. Trust me, we laugh. We were laughing about it too.
Have you reached out to like the pro bono lawyer people and everything?
I will be.
Okay.
I will be. Yes. There were a lot of people. For those who don't know, my name is Matthew Ballard.
I'm just gonna get you on this thing. Here you go. Yeah, it's Matthew Ballard.
I, along with about 19 others, were arrested at 9th and Broadway on Saturday. The process was, well, let me just say this. First of all, for those who don't know, they were hunting us. They were hunting us. They were working to box us in because they wanted to grab us. And that's it. What ended up happening, they outlasted us. Skinny-ass white boys like me are not in the shape to be constantly running from police in riot gear. But anyway, again, because of the riot that happened at the jail, a lot of us ended up staying there for upwards of 12 hours because they told us that we were basically a lower priority to that whole situation. So there were people, like I said, that were there for 12 plus hours. They did not know what they were charged with. We were never given an opportunity to call anybody unless you happened to have your cell phone on you when you were arrested, and they had us, chained downstairs and they started the processing. But there were several people who, for at least 12 hours, 8 to 12 hours, were unable to reach out to family members to let them know that they were alive.
Wow.
And it took a very long time for us to ever get any real information about what happened, what was happening to us, I mean. And when I say that, I mean I was there myself for at least 6 hours before we were able to just start finding out, like, what the hell is going to happen with us? Why haven't you released this yet?
Did they, so I've done some overnighters in my day, and I know in the past they would put you in a room where they had like the phones in the middle. Did they put you all in that room where the phone's working?
No, that's, thank you for asking about that. No, yes, there were 2 phones in the room, neither of them worked.
Yep.
I mean, it's that. And, you know, of course, I'm not going to pretend that, you know, suddenly I know what it's all about to be in jail. I was in holding for, I don't know, 8 or so hours.
Yeah.
I got a microcosm of a taste of what many others here and some of those that I was in holding with have gone through or have had family members go through. But I will say, just so I can stop rambling and allow you to go back to your video, it was worth it. It was worth it. Everybody out here is here for the right reasons. Everybody that was arrested the other night with me was there to peacefully protest.
Yeah, and you're here today.
I'm here today.
Yeah, you're all back here today.
And I was here yesterday. I will be back. You know, maybe I won't be back every single day because I've also got to find other ways to use my privilege, use whatever resources, connections, so on, to actually help this movement, because it's great to march, it's great to protest, but ultimately it's action that actually changes things. And so eventually we're going to have to get to work.
Absolutely. Yeah, and so you know, for those of you that were watching yesterday, you know, there was a young woman who shared her similar experience where she also got arrested, and then wasn't able to, you know, make phone calls, wasn't able to reach out to anybody, didn't know what she was being charged for until she got handed her slip on the way out. You know, so this is like, you know, the third or fourth person that, you know, I've just rubbed elbows with that have experienced that, which means it's happened, you know, who knows how many times. Well, cool, man. I appreciate you sharing your story. Be safe out here. Call us pro bono numbers. If you need some help with anything, man, just reach out to me, okay? So back to our parade here. This is now First and Market. We've gone several blocks down from the courthouse. Everybody's, you know, maintaining the chance of hands up, don't shoot. Yeah, as we move northbound, you know, towards the water here. I mean, there are several, you know, blocks of protesters that are walking together, moving together. No police presence. No one seems to be following us, except for the lovely helicopter that's always in the air. Yeah, I believe he said that he got arrested Saturday night on 9th and Broadway, and the young lady that I talked to yesterday got arrested on Sunday night. Yeah, for those that are asking, yeah, this is First and Main. This is actually by the big Humana building. The crowd appears to be going, you know, all the way north towards the waterfront here. Yeah, so we can see, you know, as we're blocking traffic for several blocks here, you know, kind of supporting the people, you know, holding signs, got fists in the air. Yep, so get a chance of hands up, don't shoot. Breonna Taylor. Everybody hang tough. I'm gonna throw my phone in my pocket and grab it out of a drink of water. Just 1 second here. Yep, so this is on the corner of Brook and Witherspoon, right in front of the Great Lawn here. You know, the march left 5th and Jefferson, and they're kind of heading, you know, eastbound, you know, kind of towards past the Great Lawn, you know, towards the walking bridge and then at Slugger Field.
No peace! 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 No peace!
Yeah, definitely with the crowd now moving, it seems like there are, you know, far more people than I originally thought. I mean, it's, you know, we can see all the way from, you know, the turn down on First Street, you know, all the way down. I mean, there are hundreds of people down here that are protesting peacefully.
No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! Say her name! Breonna Taylor! Say her name! Breonna Taylor! Say her
out on their balconies down here, taking pictures of the crowd as it walks past. Taylor and Jared, your sister says hi. Like, I see my siblings. I'm like, all right, she says hi.
Have you been out here a few days?
Yes, sir.
Dude, I think I've seen your live videos, actually.
Oh, Jason Downey's my name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Adam.
Adam, man, good to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yes, sir. Be safe out here, okay?
Yeah, you too.
No peace! 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 No peace!
Yep, so it looks like the crowd seems to be stopping in the intersection at Floyd and Main. Once again, you know, I'm not saying anything that's not known. I mean, we got the chopper circling. Actually, that looks like the WAKY chopper, not the police chopper. In hindsight, this might be the first day I don't see the police chopper. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So since there's I see some more talk about about like police that are monitoring feeds and scanners and so forth. It's no secret where this group is. I mean, there's choppers in the air. I have no doubt that there's probably some undercovers that are walking with the group here. All this info is readily available. If you want to see something really interesting, open up your Snapchat and pull your map up, and you can look at the heat map, and you can see where protesters are walking downtown based on their Snapchat locations that are turned on. You'll see a nice big red square and see what block everybody down here is on. It's the internet's kind of scary sometimes. But right now the crowd is stopped. How you doing? Thanks, man. Hey, be safe, okay? I recognize that beard anywhere. What's up, baby? How you doing? You doing all right? Yeah. Good to see you down here, man. Yep. Be safe. Yeah, so every day, the crowd has been just meeting at the crowd has been meeting at 5th and Jefferson, and then walking accordingly. That's just been kind of my go-to every day. I know others are organizing protests, in different parts of town, St. Matthews, Oxmoor, of course down the West End, all over town. I heard there was some on campus before. Really just try to get on Facebook. Find some local groups. Just ask around. Someone will tell you where people are meeting up. This stuff's going on all the time, all day. That right there, that's Steph. She's doing her thing. She's been down here streaming for several days.
Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
So this is Floyd. This is Floyd and Jefferson, where the crowd's kind of heading, back eastbound.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Yeah, and there's not like we've seen in previous days. There's no police that are following the marches. There's no police that are in riot gear. They're pretty much leaving us all alone. Oh, I almost ate shit on that tree. Oh, whoa. So it turns out you can't walk forwards and film backwards. That's how you die. Oh, that almost sucked.
Somebody passed the fuck out. See, I told you. Somebody passed the fuck out.
Yep. You know, cars have pulled up and blocked incoming traffic so that everybody can continue to walk peacefully. Yeah, if we're going to be completely honest here, you know, after a couple days of pepper bullets and you know, tear gas, I think the worst injury I've had is I messed my right thumb up real bad when I damn near wrecked on my bicycle, and that was just me going down the street by myself. So yeah, maybe I need to start recording with helmets and knee pads and shit to kind of protect myself from myself. It's just a protester. It looked like dehydration. You know, they were hunched forward, sitting forward. You know, people were rushing to their side. I don't want to get that shit on video. You know, that's kind of private, but you know, they're gonna be okay. There are plenty of medics down here, and yeah, they're coming to people's aid. You know, we've seen a couple times today. So this is back on 1st and Jefferson, where the crowd continues to move westbound. Looks like they might be moving on to this corner here of 1st and Jefferson. Bader's Food Market is not letting people inside to buy food or drinks or anything. Yeah, Chew, I appreciate that, but as you know, man, if I strap a camera to my chest, it's going to be about 2.5 feet off the ground, and I don't know if that's going to do any of us any good, but I do appreciate it. So the march itself has not made it to First and Muhammad Ali here. Peaceful protests have been going on since roughly 5 o'clock when I got down here. They've been marching about the last half an hour, 45 minutes or so. There's still many, many people down here, several hundred that are down walking with us here. And a little bit earlier, for the first time since this all started, Mayor Fisher came down to the square at 5th and Jefferson and gave a little bit of a speech and then offered to take questions from protesters. Wasn't a lot of satisfaction with his answers.
No peace. No peace. Prosecute the police. 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 No peace. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. No peace. No peace. No peace. No peace. Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor. David McAtee. David McAtee. Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. And your shit is let's go. Everybody let's go.
Sorry, I was catching up on some corner of Chestnut and First here. The crowd appeared to all take a knee together. A couple of the crowd got some pictures. And sort of like some protest leaders that are down here. Everybody, once the news camera's set up, so everybody get up. Like, we're not doing this shit for the news. We're doing this for us. And the crowd then got up, and they were continuing the march on South First Street, now passing Gray. As far as to answer when it ends, if you're talking about the protests today, they've ended the last few nights when police have actually came and dispersed everybody via tear gas and pepper spray bullets. As far as when will the protests end overall, nobody can really say. My assumption is that when either the police officers that killed Breonna Taylor or have had charges brought against them, or until evidence is presented, to the public.
Oh shit, what's up, man? How you doing? Long time no see, man. You doing okay? Yeah.
Unreal, the times are weird.
No shit. What's you doing alright?
I feel you.
Right?
Never gone to no one knows.
Yeah, it's just someone's in the front and everyone's kind of following.
I'd say the Broadway or Jefferson.
Yeah, I mean, they started 5th and Jefferson, and then kind of down Main, and almost up to Slugger Field, and back up, and
I just saw him trying to fucking go up my down.
oh yeah. But yeah, man, it's crazy. Yeah, so this is First and Broadway, and they got traffic stops on First and Broadway, and don't appear to be going anywhere. Let me get a wider shot of everybody here.
Y'all see y'all's record, bro.
What should I go this way?
is Spider-Man. I mean, I guess if there's ever a way to conceal your identity and not look like a threat, put on a fucking spandex Spider-Man outfit. It looks like somebody got tipped off that there was a National Guard down the street. The crowd has kind of changed directions. The crowd, the command was that everybody stick together, keep the peace, but just in case, put women on the inside, men on the outside for what might happen. Yeah, Jamie, if it needs to be, I would appreciate it. Yeah, so there seems to be some confusion about which way to march, what's going on. Yeah, not really sure what's going on. Yeah, I'm gonna let them plan, kind of in peace, without me being in video or distance here. Yeah, so this is right off Broadway. The majority of the crowd seems to be walking back towards Broadway.
go grab this way. We need the bikers. We need the bikers to go up there and turn that way.
Hey, and be careful too when you direct to people. Make sure you're walking with traffic. Yep. So it looks like the group's kind of got their bearings back together. We are headed to East on Broadway. Now moving back with traffic. As we've seen in previous days, as long as traffic is not impeded by the march, then they seem to let us go. They let the protesters march all the way down Broadway to 26th and back with traffic without problems. Thank you so much. Be safe. Yep. Hey, for anybody who's still debating on coming and joining, the crowd is, we're moving east on Broadway on 4th. It's been peaceful all day. Come on out, bring your friends. There's people handing out bottles of water. There's, cereal bars and fruit. There's medics on site. They've been helping people all day. It's been a nice, safe, peaceful day. Yep. So it looks like the crowd is kind of pausing here, right around 4th and Broadway. This is where we've seen police and National Guard in the past. Everyone. I'm assuming there's some kind of government building here, but we can see the Humvees in police and riot gear. You know, it's the first time they've been seen today. You know, they were out here yesterday. It appears to be like where they park their stuff, you know, in case something happens. You know, everyone seems pretty at ease. See the crowd is taking knees. Chance of hands up, don't shoot. You can see, you know, they're watching, but you know they're playing with phones. You know, everything's ready. They're just kind of hanging out. Yep. Keep moving, y'all.
Y'all, we ain't fucking with them, y'all. Come on.
Yep.
Gotta keep them pushing. Gotta keep them moving.
Yep. It looks like, you know, protest leaders are keeping everybody moving. They're keeping everybody moving, making sure people don't stop.
Fuck them. It's y'all shit. Don't fuck it up. Do not fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up.
Yep. So the protest leaders, I mean, they're keeping people away, having people keep moving. You don't want anybody to antagonize the police or the National Guard. That's not good for anybody. But yeah, you know, the police, you know, they're still relatively at ease. I mean, masks are up. You know, I see a couple of them are texting. You know, firearms are at the side. They don't appear to be, you know, aggressive towards us. Like I said, they've had vehicles and people stationed here for days on end. This isn't anything, you know, specific for today. And the majority of the crowd, you know, they have passed peacefully. You know, minus some verbal assault there. You know, no throwing water bottles, no signs of real violence from the protesters or the police right now, as we continue to go east on Broadway. Yep. So there's still several hundred people that are out protesting today. It started off as a pretty quiet afternoon in the park. The mayor came down, answered a couple questions. Responses got pretty booed, but it's the first time that the mayor has came down. You know, and this is day 6 of the protest going on. You know, now the crowd is, you know, they're taking to the streets, they're marching, completely peaceful. People are handing out water. And doesn't appear to be, you know, any signs of stopping anytime soon. As the crowd kind of you know, heads back south on 6th Street House. Hang tight, I'm gonna throw you all in my pocket. I'm gonna get a drink of water. Man, I like that song too. I really don't want to talk during it, but damn it, if they play music in the background, Zuckerberg is gonna fuck me up and take my video down. Not feeling that at all. Yeah, for what it's worth, I have, I mean, really, like, I've always had an unlimited amount of energy. Like, I'm 33, and at 33, I barely sleep at night. I work all day. I come out here, and to be honest, like, I'm just feeling good, you know. Feel sorry for my poor mother, because I can only imagine what it was like when I was like 3 years old and had all of this energy and, you know, absolutely no sense. Yeah, my poor mother. Yeah, 100%. I can still fit into those childlike clothes. Like, I remember what it was like, you know, living eye to eye with everybody, you know, when I was like 7 years old. I just really never caught up.
Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot! 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 Don't shoot!
Yep. Another station here. Water and snacks. Water and snacks being openly passed out to the crowd. You know, this stuff has been going on all day. There's a lot of people helping people. Yeah, so there's definitely you know, there's a strong core group here, and it's kind of like police throwing protesters. You know, I saw a group yesterday. There's an older black fraternity that's here, and they sort of you know, we're sort of I guess preaching to some of the younger folk and kind of saying, hey, you know, we better not see you destroying shit down here. They're like, we will beat you up ourselves. We will throw you out ourselves. Do not ruin this. You know, so the vast majority of people that are here just want it to be peaceful. You know, and that's what really the last 2 days have been. So anybody that comes in and tries to, I guess, you know, stir up trouble or talk shit or do whatever, they seem to get kind of pushed to the wayside pretty quick. You know, and there's like, you know, but not just is there these, you know, little water and food stations that people are setting up for people as they march. People are picking up trash. You know, someone in the front of the line, you know, just dropped a water bottle. A lady right next to me, you know, bent down and got it. You know, at night, well, okay, so at night, we haven't been able to clean up the park because before everybody leaves, the police come in and just seem to tear gas everybody. But I'm sure they would get cleaned up if they would let us stay. You know, I guess we'll see tonight. Yeah, so the crowd is kind of heading south. This is 5th Street. I definitely have no problem sharing location. Number one, the police chopper in the sky knows where we are at all times. Not just that, if anybody is looking for us, they can definitely hear the crowd chanting. I'm not sharing anything that people don't already know.
No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! Prosecute the police! No peace! Prosecute the police!
I do want to say for people that might be listening to police scanners for the first time, you can really turn on the police scanner on pretty much any day, and there's robbing and looting that does take place in our city. Unfortunately, it's true. So the idea that you guys might be hearing of shootings in other parts of town or other robbery, etc. That stuff does go on every day, and it does go on in multiple parts of town. It's not just limited to the West End. That being said, chaos does breed opportunity, and definitely as we saw on Friday night, post-protest, rioters and looters made their way down to 4th Street, and were kind of able to run wild. We've not, no matter where someone's from, what color the skin is, or what have you, there's got to be bad apples in every bunch. So there's those that come down for a message. There's some that come to just start trouble, and there's some that choose to to loot and riot. While the police might be distracted working on other things. In case there was any doubt from the police officers where we are, this is the corner back of 5th and Jefferson right now, in front of Louisville Metro Corrections and the courthouse down here. And so the crowd, has been in the park most of the day. Mayor Fisher came down, made an appearance. There were officers that were in uniform that were mingling with the crowd. Giving hugs, shaking hands, kind of sort of having conversations about what's going on. After that, there's a few hours. We've now been marching around the block here. Now the crowd has returned back to 6th and Jefferson in the park. It looks like everybody's kind of taking a break and hanging out for a while.
No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace!
Right now, we are unified.
No peace!
We are unified.
No peace!
The biggest gang in America. The biggest
No
gang
peace!
in America. The biggest
No
gang in
peace!
our society.
No peace!
No problem. There they go. They're going to drop bombs.
Thank you for the time check. And I've been streaming for 3 hours and 15 minutes. Facebook does have a 4-hour cap, so at some point here in a minute, I am going to have to drop my stream and then restart one. for those of you that are still wanting to follow along, my name is Jason Downey. My last name is spelled D-O-W. Find me on Facebook. Give me an ad. Give me a follow, and you'll get updates. As soon as this live feed goes down, I will start another one. And my plan is to stay down here either until the protests end for the night or I get arrested. Either one. Yep. And then again, one more time, for those just joining in, I've got roughly 20 hours of protest footage that I've taken from my phone myself over the last couple of days. Also on my Facebook page, there's a link to all of it. You're more than welcome to. It's a mega link. You're more than welcome to download any of that footage. There is footage of police stealing water and milk from everybody. There's clashes between police and protesters on their hands and knees being hit with tear gas and pepper spray bullets. All that's out there. You're more than welcome to it. Don't worry about giving me credit. Just feel free to take it and spread it as you see fit. Yep. So the crowd did not stop in the park by the courthouse. Everybody is sort of continuing to march north here, staying very peaceful. No idea how many people are down here today. I mean, there are several blocks of people that are all walking together. I'm roughly in the middle of the crowd, and I mean I can see it as far back as 3 to 4 blocks of people, and then as some of the crowd continues to kind of go east on Main Street here. We've not seen, other than the police that were mingling with the crowd earlier, shaking hands and whatnot. There hasn't been the perimeter that have been around protesters like we've seen previously. They're not marching behind us as we walk. Of course, outside of the federal buildings and around some of the banks that are down here, and then of course there's a station for them that appears to be by that Cadillac dealership on Broadway. There's been presences of them there, but it hasn't been aggressive. They've been, firearms to their side. Sticks are set down, face masks are up. Some of them are texting on their phones. They don't appear to be, ready to go to war for any reason. And speaking of, now is a good time. I'm going to go ahead and stop my feed because my 4-hour mark is coming up. So once again, my name is Jason Downey, D-O-W-N-E-Y. I'm going to stop this feed, and I will immediately restart another one. Feel free to reshare and rejoin if you want to stay tuned. and I'll be back.